Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about some Icelandic Christmas folklore known as the Yule Cat. I promise this is not as wholesome sounding as it appears. The Yule Cat is described as a large and vicious cat that roams the snowy countryside during the Christmas season, lurking for new victims. Unlike other wild cats you may find in the forest, this one in particular only preys on people who do not get new clothing for Christmas.
Huh?
Yes, I am serious. Also, when they say large, I mean there's art depicting it anywhere from like the size of like a mountain lion to like a literal mountain. It's like Liger Zero running around with giant murder mittens made of floof. Fucker's huge. Also, I'm going to apologize in advance for all of the Icelandic names I mess up during this. I am pretty much legally retarded. The Yule Cat legend began in 1862 from a collection of folklore by John Arneson, although an actual source for the story is never mentioned in the collection. Described as an evil beast that would do one of two things, either eat you for not getting new clothes for Christmas, or it would eat something called your Christmas bit. What is that? I had no idea. I had to look it up. The Christmas bit is what they would call the extra bit of food that is given to the residents of a farm. That seems like a bit of an extreme jump if you're asking me. The two options are a cat breaks into your house, opens your fridge and eats your leftovers, or it comes barreling out of the forest at any given moment and just mauls the hell out of you and then eats you.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
The Yule Cat was traditionally used as a form of a threat to encourage farm workers to finish processing the wool they've collected before Christmas. Anyone assisting getting the work done was rewarded with, you guessed it, new clothes. And those who did not help them catch up to their quota before Christmas were given the alternative, which was to get mauled to death by a feral animal.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Can you imagine the new hires on the farm that are being informed of this cat ritual? And they're like, so you're telling me if I can't keep up, this cat's going to murder me? And the old man on the job that's been there like 50 years is like, hate to tell you, son, it's worse. It's gonna judge you for your work ethic, and it's gonna eat your leftovers, and you'll probably die too. A very horrific death.
Huh?
We need to bring back the Yule Cat. Imagine your official cause of death is that you were just like walking along one day and this fucking huge cat came barreling out of the woods, tackled you down, and just started kicking the shit out of you with its little lower legs like they do when they're like trying to break a mouse's neck. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Actually, I thought I read that somewhere. I'll just put it here. Is that a fact? Okay, the Yule Cat really wasn't a Christmas staple until 1932 when Johannes Urkotlum, let's Google that,
Johannes Urkotlum
published his poetry collection, and one of the poems in question was about the big black puss itself, not Lizzo. After that, the legend of the Yule Cat really started to gain traction and became a common Christmas decoration and festivity theme from there on out in Iceland. Eventually, like all other stories, it started to evolve with time and started to kind of mesh together with other characters that were in this poetry collection. Notably, the Yule Lads. Who were the Yule Lads? The Yule Lads was a group of 13 miscreants whom would steal and harass the public and all go by fake names that were just really a version of their favorite way of messing with people. Here's a few for example. I'm not even gonna try to read the actual Icelandic names, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go by their call sign or whatever you wanna call it. We have the Door Slammer, pretty self-explanatory. The Sausage Swiper, I know a few of those. The Window Peeper, that's a crime. The Candle Stealer, and the Spoon Licker. That sounds like a slur. I feel like you should not be allowed to call someone a spoon licker. Imagine someone being like, hey, you dirty fucking spoon licker, gon' get. I need to reel it in, I'm sorry. Honestly, this just reminds me of me and the boys back in the day and when we were little like hooligans. And if we all had to go by like our favorite or most noteworthy ways of being little shitheads, all I can think is I actually have a friend that would have to go by the name Poop Bag Mike. No, I will not elaborate. Anyway, back to the Yule Lads. They appear one at a time each day for the last 13 days before Yule. They would leave small gifts and shoes for kids that left their shoes on their windowsills, and if the kid was bad, he would leave a rotten potato. Thank God one of their options was not Poop Bag Mike. Okay, but what do the Yule lads have to do at all with the Yule Cat aside from the name Yule? Not much, except, I don't know, that one of them literally rides it around like a warhorse through the forest. Yeah, that's metal as hell. It rides him around through the countryside, blowing out of the forest, going into town. One dude's running around like throwing rotten potatoes and shoes. Meanwhile, your steed is just mauling people for not being as efficient at their jobs or just eating their leftovers. It hasn't quite picked yet. It might flip a coin. I don't know if cats can do that. They don't have thumbs. Anyway, remount the cat, skidoo into the forest. That's unhinged and I love it. Dude is riding off into the sunset like he is John Wayne, acting like he just saved the town, and really all he did was like give 2 kids gifts and then murder a dozen people for not getting socks. That's astounding. That's astounding. Where have our heroes gone, you know? In 2008, an online newspaper called the Reykjavik Grapevine wrote an article highlighting the Yule Cat, which expanded its popularity into modern times. And then in 2018, the city of Reykjavik erected a 16-foot tall iron statue of the Yule Cat as a Christmas decoration in the city's central square. Which I gotta say, that's like mildly terrifying. Like, can you imagine being a tourist there and seeing that? Especially like if you're partaking in anything that might alter your perception skills a little bit. That would be nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel, but I gotta give it to him. It goes pretty hard. And last but not least, in 2023, a film about Yule Cat was released in Iceland with this title. I'm not even trying it. Just cool. It was also known as Krampus. I love me a good pun. See what they did there? Not Grampus. Sorry. It does not appear to be streaming anywhere. I also tried to just find a DVD version of it just because I was very curious on it. The art that I saw looked pretty cool. I love shitty horror movies, so I was like, well, I'll give this a whirl. I can't find it. So if any of you guys out there can find this movie and a way for me to stream it where I don't give my computer super aids, I don't want to relive the LimeWire era. Even more interesting is the film looks like it's only 8 minutes long, but IMDb gave it an 8.8 out of 10. So I'm bricked for this. I would really like to see it, but I'm being cucked. So please help a dude out. If you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and like this video and drop a comment. What are your thoughts on the Yule Cat? What would you like me to touch base on next? Cryptid, conspiracy, some weird folklore that's just completely outlandish like this? Just let me know. I'll check them out. I read every comment, I promise. Even if it's mean, you can call me a retard. I don't care. So until next time, do not be a lazy piece of shit at work, and be thankful every time your mother gives you socks and undies for Christmas. She's actually preventing you from a Godzilla-sized cat coming out of the forest and wrecking your shit. Bye-bye.